G'day world, Chris Hogan coming to you live from the Peregian Digital Hub. I'm here with Coby Sullivan, who's the Regional Innovation Coordinator for Script. How are you, Coby?
Good. We've had a very busy couple of days with Ian Mason and Steve Baxter, getting towards the tail end. Yeah.
And what's been the highlight for you?
We're lucky we've had a really diverse range of events, so we've taken them out to a couple of the schools. That's been really interesting for me, seeing what the Year 10s to the Year 12s are getting up to nowadays. And then we were lucky to have a private investors chat with Steve and Ian, being able to pick their brain, I guess, about how to spot a really viable business proposition. That's really helpful in my role, especially when I'm hearing lots of ideas all the time. And visiting co-working spaces like this, and we're fortunate to have many of those on the coast. We've been overwhelmed. We had 400 people at a lecture last night, 85 at the breakfast this morning, and 90 here today. So it's just been awesome to see so many people on the from the businesses on the Sunshine Coast coming forward to pick the brains of Steve Baxter and Ian Mason. Yeah.
Lots of different industries, and I think we've actually recorded those sessions, and we'll be splicing those up and sharing those out, which is great. All about over an hour long, so we've got some great content to share. Some repetition. Is there any particular topics that I guess you've been inspired by or hadn't heard before?
Yeah, everyone's, I guess, at different stages on the coast, which we're aware of. So we've got, I guess, a really large group of early stage founders that we need to support, and that's been a key topic, I think. So people who are just teetering on the edge at the moment, they know they're onto something good, they've got a strong startup idea, but they're still working in a day job. They're really looking for guidance on how do I know when it's the right time to leave my day job and maybe flick the switch and try making revenue through this. So we know there's, I guess, a need to support those guys.
So I can tell them that answer. Yeah. Basically, it's a simple saying my dad told me: don't let go of one rope until you got hold of the other. So make sure that the other business is creating revenue before you actually give up the other revenue source.
Exactly.
Simple, and that's what I did.
It's a good way to put it. But we've also got, I guess, big established organisations like the telecoms and the banks keen to know more about how they integrate innovation into a large established organisation. So I think the biggest thing for me is from these couple of days, understanding the spectrum, I suppose, of innovation when you're talking about that topic and the different stakeholders or the different groups and clients that Script needs to support along that journey. So, and I think there's a lot of focus and attention put on the founders. You know, it's very sexy and fashionable and trendy to have a startup and be in the startup scene, but there's many different other ways to integrate innovation. Especially in small, medium enterprises, which we have a lot of on the coast. So, yeah, it's been good to dig a bit further into those topics.
Yeah, and this morning, at the breakfast this morning, there was culture, being a thought leader, social media, use of social media, and I guess in and around thought leadership. Any of those? Was there anything from those, or even? It came up again here this afternoon about the qualities of the better qualities of a entrepreneur. You know, the essential qualities of an entrepreneur.
I think Ian Mason put it really well. People have been asking Steve and Ian, what does it take to be a good entrepreneur? Is it innate? Are you born with that, or is it something you can learn? And I think Ian put it well when he said it's half skill set, half mindset. So it is, there's personality traits, I think, attached to someone who's willing to take a lot of risk and back themselves. It comes back a lot to confidence, I suppose, and also the networks you have and your ability to get your idea out there and articulate it well. But of course, the rest can be supported through good books, going along to conferences like this, learning more from those potentially who are at that next stage that you're trying to cross over. So I think, yeah, it's out there. There's a lot of opportunity for everyone as long as you're willing to, I guess, experience a bit of discomfort, which Mike Black said this morning as well. If you've got a tolerance for a little bit of difficulty, then this is the right environment for you.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Or a lot.
Or a lot. Yeah, that's it. That's the truth behind it all, isn't it? Yeah.
And it was interesting too, they also mentioned that they don't read books for business, they read books for pleasure. So they couldn't recommend any business books, which I found interesting. And there's I guess when you sit and listen to all of them, like we have, you start to see, I guess, what the most important topics are that are coming out of the ecosystem, and what is innovation, or how do we innovate, was one of those, and Steve Baxter openly says he hates that word, innovation. But I think Elaine actually said it from Jets. I've already said this on camera. I think said it really well, and that is to stay forever young. Constantly, staying young means that you're constantly having to, keep innovating, keep reiterating. I guess stuff that maybe you thought, you'd already done or said to your market, and
Yeah, even visiting a couple of the schools yesterday. The Robo Kings out at Chancellor State College, that blew my mind. They've got an entire room dedicated to, I guess, first stage like Lego constructs, which they then develop and go on to do actual coding of certain robotic prototypes. To even understand